when you've had a severe lesson, the thing that comes through is that you want to try and communicate what you've learned through to someone else that might benefit from it.
We don't want to have kids maimed for life, and that's what happens, because the gear on these vessels is heavy, it's flying around at great rates of knots, and it's a split second. 1 second and your life's changed. That's all it takes. If you aren't killed, usually you've got a pretty serious injury. There could be limbs broken or limbs lost even.
There's only one reality when you come to the fishing industry, especially the bigger boats, not even the big boats, even the smaller boats. There's one reality of it. There's wires out there, there's blocks out there. There's no such thing on these vessels as a small accident.
In my opinion, a vessel is an accident waiting to happen. And the trick is not to let it happen to you. And to do that is to be alert and think about things.
One of the silly things that we see is accidents happen through negligence, or probably familiar with something. We all get the days when we're focused, we're on the job, everything's, all hell's breaking loose around us, and we're focused and we get into it. That's great. It's probably when we're relaxed, when we're off watch or watch keeping, the silly things happen.
It's dangerous when you start to feel that when you get too relaxed about the job. That's one thing that, in hindsight, that I feel that I had been relaxed about the safety aspect.
It's human nature to forget. It's human nature to, once you've worked around something for a long time, to actually accept it as part of your life, and that's always there, and I'll just wander through. And sometimes it takes a bad accident to actually wake people up, but it's just a bloody shame that these bad accidents do happen.
I won't go into another plant now unless I check it out and make sure it's safe, just because of that accident, Because you always think it'll never happen to me, but, it can.
Yeah, before when you used to do a safety inspection, you didn't really think what it meant. Now you know what it means.
I think what it basically showed them, they were told plenty of times, you should wear your safety hat. An accident that you don't even realise is going to happen will happen, and they basically thought it won't happen to us, as everybody does. And the day that small accident happened, I think was a rude awakening to them all, and they turned around and did realise that, hey, it can happen to us.
I've seen a couple on the little boats where guys have walked into the wrong place and pulled the wrong lever. Well, I'm a prime example. I was working down the back of the Independent one day, slanging around underneath the trawl door where I shouldn't have been, and one of the boys went past and bumped the winch lever and dropped the trawl door on top of my hand. So I'm sitting down the back of the boat with about 400 kg of steel trawl door sitting on my hand. They're wandering off the other way with the mouth going, sort of, get it off,
Well, the human error side was the fact that while I was carrying the net monitor, no one should have actually been touching the winches or doing anything until they were indicated to either go up or go down. The fact that they touched it while I was over the net could have had disastrous results. And the fact being that I was very fortunate that I had my arms out in front of me here. If I hadn't have had my arms in that position, it probably would have taken my head off.
Yeah, I lost a brother quite a few years ago, but that was fishing in an area that when the weather comes up quite bad, it turns real nasty, and he should have got out of the place sooner.
You're right. I think some people who've been at sea a long time may take unnecessary risks because they think, okay, I've been lucky for the last 20 years. I think that's when it can probably get you.
Accidents happen to experienced people as well as juniors. In fact, I think the juniors are more aware because they're fresh on the job and they don't want to make a mistake, and they really push it, not getting hurt and making an impression. But I think what happens, people get a bit blasé, they get used to doing things, and of course you're working big hours and you get tired and you think, well, if I just do this way and it won't take as long, and that's when accidents happen.
Fatigue is an issue on fishing vessels, and I think when boats work hard, and crews work hard. Quite often they're up for, 24 hours or something like that.
Tiredness is a big thing in the fishing industry, and really you must be aware all the time. Doesn't matter how tired you are, you've really got to keep thinking.
For instance, a young guy might be put on on a watch who doesn't really realise he's in quite confined waters, and he falls asleep for what he thinks is 10 minutes, and the next minute the boat's up on the beach. We had an instance of one of our trawlers from Nelson go on the beach in the Chetwood Islands, right up on the Nine Pins. Luckily they landed on a beach.
That's the reality of the job. It's hard, it's long, it's tiring, and it's, in a lot of places, it's bloody dangerous.
You are going to get tired and you are going to be fatigued, but if you are, you should tell someone, especially if you're going into a position where you think you might get hurt. There's no use pushing your luck, because one day it'll run out.
I'd say one of the big changes in the industry since I started in the last 20 years would be getting on the boats, thinking you can do everything and safety was someone else's problem, to being responsible for your own safety. Nowadays it should be a culture on board. You're responsible for yourself, the ship has got to be safe, good place to work, and the whole attitude towards safety has changed.
Well, let's put it this way. I started fishing about 24 years ago, and it was quite common to take out fishing vessels with skippers. Most of them are passed on now, great guys, but it was a school of, let's put the crate of whiskey onto the vessel and pour myself out of the car and away we go fishing. It's changed now.
I think the people that prop up the bar in the long run are not going to be here in 10 or 20 years as fishermen. There's no place at sea for excessive drink, in my opinion, anyway.
Companies will not tolerate, they don't need to tolerate any fools, pissheads, don't need to tolerate it.
I think it's really safety conscious now. It's good. It's almost to the point where you get sick of doing musters and it, like ammonia drills and fire drills.
Constant training, constant reminding, troops get sick of you putting notices up, but you're only putting notices up for their own safety.
It's a pain in the arse, but it's good. You have to do it. Everyone's got to be aware.
Just be aware. People just hop on boats and they just don't realise how much hazard is on the boat. It's a working platform that's always moving.
When you're out there, you just got to really keep your eyes about you, especially if you're on the deck. So it's stuff like moving around there, you just don't know where it's coming from.
When you're out at sea, and when you're working with cranes and wire ropes, there's a heck of a lot of there's a heck of a lot of power behind those things, and it can just happen in the blink of an eye.
Because if you fuck up out there or stuff up, you're not only going to get yourself in the shit, but some other person might come in to try and help you, whereas they'll get hurt too.
Think twice before you do something that'll put yourself or somebody else at risk. It happens so easily and so quickly.
So really it is important that you've got to think all the time. You won't prevent all accidents, but you can certainly have a good go at slowing them down. It's up to you as an individual.